Cracker Barrel gets destroyed for this insane move they've made, and they're doubling down on a rebrand that customers never wanted. And right now, the backlash is only getting bigger. So, as you all know, President Trump called out Cracker Barrel, and within hours, Cracker Barrel simply reversed its logo decision. But I mean, this isn't just about a design change. You see, it's about Cracker Barrel simply trying to move away from its loyal base and the backlash that followed. Now, Cracker Barrel is simply stuck between its core customers and corporate leadership that doesn't seem to understand them. Now, Cracker Barrel is getting destroyed by the customers for this insane move to keep their DEI agenda, and they're doubling down as we're already seeing what it means for their future. Okay, so Trump's comment that was made yesterday wasn't complicated. You see, he told Cracker Barrel to bring back the old logo, admit that they made a mistake, and focus on the people who actually keep the company alive. And guess what? They did it. That shows just how fragile this whole woke rebrand strategy was from the start. Now, companies keep thinking that they can change everything that their audience loves and magically bring in a new customer, a brand new customer base. And it never works. The people who already liked Cracker Barrel don't want it modernized at all. They want the restaurant they grew up with. And also, to their surprise, there's even younger people who loves going to Cracker Barrel as well. But the bigger problem is that this rebrand didn't come out of nowhere. The leadership team behind Cracker Barrel has been pushing updates for years. Sleeker logos, stripped down interiors, and trendy aesthetics that have nothing to do with what made the place popular in the first place. Now, this particular strategy is simple. Replace the customers, as they want to do, that they have with the ones they want. But the people they're chasing after aren't showing up. Meanwhile, the loyal customers themselves, the ones who actually spend money there, are getting pushed out. The particular audience that they're chasing for, they don't even spend money on things, not even movies, food, stuff like that. Okay. As a matter of fact, they don't really eat out like that. And this is where Trump's influence actually came into effect. The majority of Cracker Barrel's base leans conservative. Okay. These are people who like the traditional vibe, the old school decor, and the home style menu. But at the same time, you know, a lot of Democrats also like Cracker Barrel as well. Now, when Trump actually stepped in, he spoke directly to that particular base. And once that happened, the backlash exploded. Whether you like him or hate him, when he weighs in on an issue like this, it actually dominates the headlines and forces different companies into the spotlight. I mean, that's exactly what happened here. You see, those executives over at Cracker Barrel are simply just stuck now. On one hand, they know that their customers are angry and simply want the brand to stay true to its roots. And on the other hand, they don't want to look like, you know, they're giving in to Trump publicly. That tension is shaping every decision they make right now. Now, this isn't just about food or logos. It's a culture clash between corporate boards and the people that they claim to serve. Now, honestly, from a business standpoint, this whole thing is simply insane. Cracker Barrel simply invested hundreds of millions into this rebrand strategy. They tore apart their entire aesthetic, modernized the interiors, and shifted their branding to appeal to a demographic that barely eats there. I mean, it's exactly what we saw happen at Bud Light and Disney. You alienate your core audience, chasing a group that doesn't care, and then you're shocked when your profits are actually taking a nosedive. And speaking of Disney, later today after this video, I will be having an update on Disney as well as their Marvel film Avengers Doomsday, as well as on the troubles that they're having with that movie after Fantastic Four First Steps actually took a flop. Now, honestly, there's also the political angle here. Cracker Barrel's leadership is backed heavily by firms like BlackRock, which holds a massive stake in the company itself. These institutional investors push the whole modernization strategies that line up perfectly with the same woke cultural narratives that we've seen forced on other brands like Disney. The result? A disconnect between the people making the decisions and the people actually paying the bills. Okay? So for decades, Cracker Barrel was a simple, reliable roadside stop, and you knew what to expect. Hearty food, nostalgic decor, and the feeling of stepping into a place that valued tradition. That identity made the company successful, and now executives seem determined to erase that identity entirely, and the customers are replacing it. Now, this particular backlash proves people are simply tired of companies pretending to be something that they're not. Now, Trump at least understood that instinctively. You see, he didn't get into brand politics or corporate PR strategy. He just said what customers were already thinking. Bring back the logo, admit the mistake, and listen to your audience. Now, whether he's ever eaten at Cracker Barrel or doesn't eat there, doesn't matter. He saw a company trying to reinvent itself for a market that doesn't exist, and he called them out for it. And simply put, he wants them to succeed. Now, the financial side of this mess can't be ignored either. Cracker Barrel stock has been shaky for months. Investors are watching closely to see if this backlash pushes the company into a deeper slide or forces leadership to fully course correct. I mean, there's already speculation that Trump's comments caused a short-term boost in the investor confidence. But long-term stability is going to depend on whether they can rebuild trust with their actual customer base. Okay. Now, honestly, the bigger cultural picture here is impossible to miss. You see, we've seen this same storyline play out repeatedly. Brands with loyal audiences decide that they need to, quote, modernize, throw away what made them unique, and then act shocked when their core customers actually start to revolt. Disney's box office collapse, Bud Light's free fall, and now Cracker Barrel's backlash. I mean, it's just simply the same mistake over and over again. Now, the sad part is how easy it would have been to avoid this. Nobody asked for a complete overhaul of Cracker Barrel's identity. Customers weren't demanding minimalist designs or stripped down interiors. They weren't begging for, reimagined branding. They just wanted, the same classic experience they've always had. But instead, the leadership created a problem that didn't exist and simply walked straight into a PR disaster. Now, some people still think this will blow over, but it won't. Once you've broken trust with your customers, rebuilding it is simply hard. Cracker Barrel has an opportunity right now to lean into what made them successful, but that means swallowing pride, admitting they got it wrong, and committing to the audience that built the brand in the first place, okay? Now, Trump's statement wasn't just, a passing comment. It forced the company to confront the reality that its customers weren't happy, okay? And that pressure isn't going away anytime soon. But as I stated in videos before, they're still sticking to the DEI narrative that they're pushing. Heck, Benny Johnson had actually broke down, he mistakenly put out a story that they removed the DEI, agenda practices from their website. But the thing is, they didn't really do that. That doesn't mean that they're ending it and stuff. He came back on social media later, admitted that they got that wrong, and he let the people know that they moved it somewhere else under a different link. So that right there is also another reason why the people aren't really coming back, because a lot of the customers, they're making themselves loud and stuff because, simply put, they don't want their to eat at a place and stuff where a lot of them who are religious and stuff, who are Christians, don't want to eat at a place where that actually approves and promote this kind of stuff, especially with DEI narrative. Okay, they don't want that particular agenda to. They don't want to support it. They don't want to give their money to us. So basically, what they want is that it's still going to be there. They didn't change up on that. They didn't pull that back. So they're going to take their money and business somewhere else. Now, some may come back, but then a lot more of them will not. And that may leave Cracker Barrel in an even worse predicament that they expected. But yeah, I mean, social media is actually amplifying every decision that they make. Investors are nervous, and the core audience is paying attention like never before. Now, if Cracker Barrel doesn't handle this carefully, it risks losing the very people keeping the business alive. Okay, but this isn't just about logos, food, or even one company. It's about a bigger fight over culture, identity, and who gets to shape the brands people grew up with. Now, corporations can't keep alienating their core audience and expect to survive. Now, Cracker Barrel simply became a target simply because the customers care about what it represents. Now, the company's next moves will actually determine whether it stays relevant or becomes the next Bud Light. Now, bottom line, stop ignoring the people who built your business. Now, Cracker Barrel's audience doesn't want, trendy interiors, corporate statements, or even reimagined branding. They simply want tradition, familiarity, good food, and a brand that reflects their values. If leadership doesn't figure that out fast, they're going to destroy everything that made the company successful in the first place. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Be sure to smash the like button if you enjoy what was shared in the video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on that bell for future uploads, notifications, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace.